I want to show you this bag right here. Okay, this bag is 1 month of me saving everything that comes out of my water. Can you believe that?
Houston, we have a problem.
How and why I distill my drinking water. And so that's the plan. First the how, and then the more important question, the why. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate it as always. This video won't be too long, but then again, it could be a little bit longer than normal. I think it's very important, and so we're going to be covering it in pretty good detail, and we're going to get into the the fluoride question here towards the middle of this video, and after I show you how I distill my water, then we're going to be covering that topic pretty extensively. But again, I always ask people, you need to do your own research, okay, on this. Of course, you're going to find sites out there, and we'll talk about this in detail, that will tell you that fluoride is good. It's good for your teeth and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to show you the other side of the story, and then point you to a movie that I think that you should watch. It'll be kind of your homework for tonight. So I think it's important, and we're going to be covering it. Also, with all videos like this, I'm sure that there are many other ways to do this, possibly cheaper ways. I'm going to be giving you my recipe for homemade toothpaste, for example. And of course, you can find many such recipes online on YouTube. So by no means do you need to do it my way, or use my recipe or distill your water the way I do. However, the important thing is that you remove the pesticides, the fluoride, and the bacteria from your drinking water. And whatever method or recipe you use is up to you. I'm simply going to be telling you how I will do it and why I do it. So hence the name of this video, how and why I distill my drinking water, and it is live. Also, one other thing, I will be showing you my distiller, which was gifted to me by Mr. David Weiss, purchased through Amazon, by the way. I do want to point out, by the way, thank you very much, David Weiss, for that. Because of the price of it, I probably would never have purchased it on my own. But after receiving it and using it and reaping the awesome benefits, well, now I can't imagine living without it. So thank you so much to David Weiss. But as I was saying, I'll be showing you a product that can be purchased by Amazon, and I'm sure elsewhere. But let it be known very clearly that I make no money from any purchase that you make at Amazon. I used to have an affiliate account, but Amazon gave me the boot earlier this year, so I have no affiliation at all with Amazon. I make no money from any purchase that you make, excuse me, because of this video or any past video or any future video. I will make no money from that. So if after this video you feel I helped you live healthier or happier, and you'd like to tip me or thank me with a very kind donation, I'd appreciate that a lot. With it, again, the title of this video is How and Why I Distill My Drinking Water. So let's start the show, shall we? All right. Let's see here. And we're going to be watching a few videos here that I made and looking at some images that I prepared for you. So let's first start with a TDS meter, just so you know what that is. Let me get there for you. Okay, this is a TDS meter. All right, very cheap. It's a water testing device that you can. It'll run you about $5-10. They're great for testing drinking water, aquariums, etc. They usually give you a readout as the total dissolvable solids percent in the water, or present in the water. TDS is the title because it means total dissolvable solids, obviously, of a solution. In this case, water. Usually it's given in parts per million. So this is what mine looks like. I think it costs $4 or something on Amazon. What I am going to show you real quick is we're going to read about it here. This is asking, what is the acceptable total dissolved solids level in drinking water? And we're just going to read through some of this real quick. So the total dissolved solids, also known as TDS, are the inorganic compounds that are found in water, such as salts, heavy metals, and some traces of organic compounds that are dissolved in our water. Excluding the organic matter that are sometimes naturally present in the water and the environment, some of these compounds or substances can be essential to life, but it can be harmful when taken more than the desired amount needed by the body. The total dissolved solids present in water are one of the leading causes of turbidity, which is, I think, clarity. If the water's turbid, it means it's foggy or whatever. And sediments in drinking water, when left unfiltered, total dissolved solids can be the cause of various diseases. Make sure we note that. A total dissolved solid is a measure of the combined total organic and inorganic substances contained in that liquid. This includes anything present in water other than pure H2O molecules. These solids are primarily minerals, salts, and organic matter that can be a general indicator of water quality. So we'll go down a little bit further. The TDS in drinking water comes from natural water sources, sewage, urban runoff, industrial wastewater, and chemicals used in the water treatment process, and the hardware or piping used to distribute that water. In the United States, higher TDS was brought by natural environment features like salt deposits, mineral springs, seawater intrusion, and carbonate deposits. Other sources may include anti-skid materials like salts used for de-road icing, stormwater and agricultural runoff, water treatment chemicals, and non-point wastewater discharges. A little bit further down here, we do see that therefore the total dissolved solids test is used as an indicator test to determine the general quality of water. Okay, a little bit further here, we see what composes total dissolved solids and how do they contaminate our water supply. Different substances comprise the total dissolved solids in drinking water. As a natural flora of water and the environment, bacteria and viruses can be found in the total dissolved solids. These are the organic compounds found in drinking water. Chemicals found in the water and water supply include heavy metals, salts, pharmaceutical drugs that are caused by human waste materials which contaminate the water and water supply. Sometimes chemicals such as iron, potassium, sodium, and other chemicals that are known to man are present in drinking water too. These chemicals are caused by human waste products that contaminate our water sources, not to mention the volatile organic compounds they use to pollute the water by leaking through the water supply in the soil. Still further down here, we're going to get what is the acceptable total dissolved solids level in drinking water. The total dissolved solids is measured in milligrams per unit volume, also referred to as parts per million. For drinking water, the maximum concentration level set by the EPA is 500. So your TDS, if you got one of these meters, like I said, you can get them for $5 on Amazon. Test your drinking supply water. I'll show you mine here in a second, but I used to live in a city called Salinas, California, where the water would test anywhere from 420 to 480, which is extremely high. And as you just see here, the maximum amount is 500. Anything near 1,000, you'll see down here, numerous water supplies exceed this level. When TDS levels exceed 1,000 milligrams or 1,000 parts per million, it is generally considered unfit for human consumption. A high level of TDS is an indicator of potential concerns and appeals for further investigation. A little bit further down, we see high TDS results in undesirable taste, which can be salty, bitter, metallic. It could also indicate the presence of toxic materials or minerals. Sorry, read that there more carefully, Jared. High TDS point out the hard water, which causes scale buildups in pipes and valves. This eventually restricts performance. And obviously, if you use the water that comes out of your faucet to clean your car or something like that, we've all seen the water spots. What's left behind is actually those hard water buildups, which comes from a high TDS. Okay, so that's basically. I have a little bit of other section here I wanted to read. How can we safely purify our water? Well, after knowing a few of the processes to filter and purify water, different questions are forming deep in our head, like how safe is it to be consumed? How will it affect our health and our family as well? Since we all know that radiation is harmful to our health and chemicals, remember this, radiation, when defined, it always leads to toxicity and disease. Okay, another one, it always leads to toxicity and disease. However, there is a way to purify water from these contaminants and remove these impurities safely and effectively without the use of chemicals or radiation. Another reliable way to purify water is boiling. Very important, as that's exactly what I do, and we're going to see that here in a second with the distiller. This is the most basic way of purifying water. Also, in purifying water from doubtful water sources, you must not forget to filter the water, as it may still have some sediments and solid particles. All right, so that's basically the first thing we're going to read. Now we're going to be showing you here just some video. And like I said, this is the TDS meter. Again, it's $5. It's so simple. You'll see here I'm running some faucet water here at my house. We're going to be filling up just regular. I let it run for a little while first, so it's not just the initial buildup in the pipes. Now I'm going to take my TDS meter here. Sorry about the sound. I did take out some sound from this. You'll see here you can just set it to, you just turn it on. It starts at 0. Place it in the water once it's kind of settled. Click the hold button and you'll get your number, your total dissolvable solids. So the number of my public drinking water comes out at 128 here. That's parts per million. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a freshly cooked batch of water. This is coming out of my home distiller, which we will be looking at in detail momentarily. Again, you want to let those bubbles kind of settle, let the water kind of settle for a second. Once it's settled, take your meter and place it in. Again, this water has been cooked by my home water distiller. Usually comes in at 0, but this time I think I got 1. Let's watch and see. Maybe it was 1 at first and then 0. Nope, it was just 0 there. I think I retest it and get a 1. So much more, much better water for you. Totally clean, totally pure. There you go. That came back at 1. And so there you go. I want to show you this bag right here. Okay, this bag is 1 month of me saving everything that comes out of my water. Can you believe that? That's a normal sized Ziploc baggie, sandwich baggie, Ziploc baggie. Hard to believe that that stuff is in our water. And when you've got families that are, can't afford bottled water and are feeding it to their children, this stuff is what is going into our system. Another problem with this stuff is that it's very difficult to break that down. I think I show you here in a second. I'll actually try and add some of that to my purified water. Here we go. So that water that just tested at 1, I'm going to just drop a nug here back in to the glass, just to show you that it will not dissolve even in that water, because it's so minute in the water that we drink every day if you drink faucet water. And I go ahead and try and speed this up here so that I can show you. I'm trying to stir that in, get it to dissolve. Doesn't really well, but we'll then test this water just to show you what's going on with it. And I think it comes back at 200 or something. And again, that was fast forwarded, so I let this sit for a while. But imagine if this is in your system. So people who have, I don't know, a lot of people have urinary tract infections. A lot of people, so what did that come in at? 104. Okay. But again, I just put that in. So when you're looking at total dissolvable solids, it's looking at the amount that's dissolved in the water. So again, I wait a little bit longer, let it dissolve a little bit further, reset that device, put it back in. Now we're at 317, 323, something like that. Okay, yep, 317. All right, and again, I waited a little bit to let that dissolve even further, but look how disgusting that is. Pretty freaking gross, okay? And so, yeah, a lot of people have all kinds of issues. Mrs. Mom has, I can't think of what it's called right now. Anyway, kidney stones, sorry. But when you think about that going through, her system, and of course she's told to drink lots of water, so she drinks lots of faucet water. Before we introduced her to our mega home distiller, she was having tons of problems. After that, the problems have disappeared. Just showing you what it looks like after you clean a batch of water. So you'll see there that it's got some specks. I just kind of cleaned it out, pushed all this stuff over to the side of the can, and you can see what it looks like in there. And that's just about right there. It's about 3 days worth of gunk since the last time I cleaned that. And then what you do is when you buy this product, they give you something called this water residue cleaner. And if you put that in, it will kind of dissolve some of that stuff off the sides. But if you leave it in there for a month, like I did to gather all that baggie, you're going to end up with this, which is just crust stuff at the bottom. It's not a problem, though, because, again, once I pour the water in here to distill it, obviously it cleans it before it gets into the jug. So you'll see here what I'm doing now is going to go ahead and fill that up. You just run your regular faucet water. I've heard people say that you could easily pee. Yes, you heard me. Pee inside this water distiller, and it will still come out at 1 or 2 or 0. I have not tried that, so I only have heard that. But anyway, I fill this up, and you'll see there. Now, on the side of this jug, you'll see this full line. Basically, you just make sure you fill up the water to that point. So let me grab some more here. Fill it up to that full line, and it's that simple. You put the top on, you click one button. There's only one button on this machine, and then it starts. And it takes about 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours to do, which comes out to be about a gallon of water. And then you're done. And this system turns off on its own. So here you'll see me filling it up to the full line. And then the only downside of the machine, if there is one, would be it's a little noisy. No noisier than your, dishwasher. It's not bad. But I'll show you that sound here in a second just so you can hear what it sounds like when turned on. And then I'll show you where you can get one of these. It is the Mega Home Water Distiller. It comes in white, comes in silver. But again, I don't make any money from Amazon. I'm just recommending it because I think it's a good product. So before let me turn that down. Before I show you how we turn that thing on. Obviously, I have to empty my clean water, so this is going into a glass jug, and we'll talk a little bit about how important that is to not keep distilled water in plastic or in plastic cups, because the water can leach off that plastic once it's distilled. But in glass, you'll be fine. So what I do is just keep a lot of these jugs around, and we just fill them up. And let me turn this back up just so you can hear the machine turn on here. So what I do is I take this over, put that spout right underneath that little distiller spout there, the little nozzle, and you just press that one time. And now you hear the distiller going, and like I said, 5 hours later I'll have a full gallon of water there. So it seemed louder because I put the can right next to it, but what happens is that metal container here basically heats up the water to 212 or so degrees. I'll actually show you a diagram of what's going on in there. Then you get its steam, all the steam goes up, it's clean, purified, and then it will drip out slowly over the next 5 hours until you have completely clean water. So really an awesome device. I use it 2 times a day. We go through 2 gallons of water a day. Also, when I have any extra, I put it in this little stainless steel canister next to my sink. The reason for that is we washed like dishes with it. Also, that's what we use when we clean fruit. When you rinse fruit or lettuce or anything like that, rather than use the faucet water, which obviously has high levels of fluoride in it. For instance, if I'm going to clean this tomato, I'll simply use that water, the distilled water, to rinse off fruit, things like that. Let's see here. So that makes it easier to do that. And let me show you what I do in the bathroom, because what I've done is I've completely removed fluoride from my life, which is pretty good. Not completely, I guess somebody could say. There is some naturally occurring. I guess there is some probably in this water, very minute amounts if I were to send it in to be tested. But I do not any longer use it to brush my teeth. When I'm in the shower, and we can talk about this more too, but when I'm in the shower, I just make sure I keep my mouth closed the whole time. I don't let any faucet water anywhere near my mouth. One of the reasons, and I've explained this many times on Monday Night Raw and things like that, that if you think about it, anybody who's ever done drugs in the past, if you've ever done acid, for example, all you need to do to get that acid in your system is to place the tab or the sugar cube, whatever, on your tongue. Anything in your mouth, that's the quickest way to get to your bloodstream. So if you've ever known anybody who does cocaine, sometimes they'll dip cocaine on their finger and rub it on their gums. The reason for that, that's the quickest way to get it into your system. So I think the most sensitive part of your body is your mouth, of course, right? And so what they want, or what most people do, is they use fluoride toothpaste and they rub it on their gums. They're basically brushing their teeth with fluoride, which places it directly into your bloodstream, which I'm totally against. Again, and let me just point this out. These are all my opinions. These are all my beliefs. You can believe differently. If you want to rub fluoride on your gums all day long, go ahead, go do it. I don't care. That's up to you. Have fun, enjoy yourself. I don't think it's smart, and we'll explain why. But basically, I have this little setup at my house. I have this jar that sits on my bathroom sink. I've got this jar here, which has my homemade toothpaste in it, which I'll give you the ingredients for here in a second. And then I've got this jug here for rinsing. Okay, so now I no longer have any fluoride going into my mouth. Basically, I take my toothbrush. You also want to, with this homemade toothpaste, one thing you want to do is you want to run hot water while you brush your teeth. That's important because the homemade toothpaste can build up in your pipes and can cause a problem. So I run hot water. I grab my toothbrush. If I'm going to rinse the head of it, I rinse it with the distilled water. So I get it on that toothbrush like that, just to kind of clean it off. I'll then dip my toothbrush into the homemade toothpaste, get that on there, brush my teeth with that, and then, like I said, once you're ready to, I can wash off the toothbrush, that's fine, like this. I can then rinse the head like that with the distilled water. So, and then also I have the jug, which after that I would use to rinse my mouth. So that's basically the extent of that. Let me show you the real quick here. Oops, I kind of messed that up. I'll show you the ingredients for the toothpaste if you want to do this. And again, like I said, you can find many more recipes. This is just the one that I use. I use 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. The great thing about this is that, it's all natural. That's the great thing. What's better than that, right? I want all natural Toothpaste, I don't want the stuff that's got all the chemicals in it. I don't want anything in my mouth that says, if swallowed, call poison control, which is exactly what you get on toothpaste or on mouthwash. So you got the coconut oil, 3 tablespoons of that. That helps you kill bacteria. It prevents tooth decay. It removes any harmful chemicals in your mouth. So that's a great ingredient here. You got 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Baking soda is great as well. It also removes harmful chemicals. And then we use 1 tablespoon sea salt. That's kind of abrasive, and it will also, it's got an abrasive texture. It also kills germs. It's a great item there. And then on top of that, you can add a few drops. Make sure you get food grade. Do not get the kind that's used for aromatherapy or anything. You want to get food grade. Either I use wintergreen oil, but you can use peppermint oil. And then mix that all in a glass jar. And that becomes your toothpaste. It lasts me quite a while. Tastes great. Feels so much better than the store-bought toothpaste. And just like that, I've completely removed any fluoride from getting anywhere near my mouth, other than what's natural in foods or what might be natural in other things that you eat or drink. But as far as water, there's it's not getting near my mouth. And like I said, the reason I brought up the cocaine in the mouth and if you were to use acid in your mouth or things like that, is a lot of people say, oh, well, how do you get around a shower? Well, if you place a cube of acid on your arm, if you were to dribble some cocaine on your arm, you'd be fine, right? That's why people put it in their mouth. That's why you can just set a acid cube on your tongue and you get the high effect from that. I certainly don't recommend doing that. Don't ever do that. I don't recommend using cocaine in your mouth, but I'm just using it as a point that we don't want things in our mouth. That's the quickest way to our bloodstream. So anyway, let's get back to, let's see. So that's basically it on what I do. Let me show you a few things here. 1 second. Let me bring this back here. Oh, wait. Do I want to show you? Yeah, we'll show you how I go about, or what the item is that I use. In 1 second, if I can figure out what I'm doing here. All right, so this is the distiller itself. Like I said, it's from Amazon. I didn't provide a link, but you'll see up at the top there my little search. You can just search for Mega Home Water Distiller. It's the first one that pops up. Like I said, it's kind of expensive. $239 with free shipping. Well worth it. It's worth every penny. Like I said, just that amount it scared me away. I said, I don't know if I have the money to purchase that. Thank you very much to David Weiss, who purchased one for me and said, you absolutely need to be doing this. As I pointed out before, back before I got this water jug, I weighed about 235 pounds. Sad to say. As of yesterday, down to 203. So there's lots of reasons for that. I'm eating much more healthy. Again, thank you to my patrons. Thanks to everybody. I mean, I'm eating healthier. But I think a lot of it has to do with the distilled water. I'm walking 2 miles in the morning. But I do think that distilled water helps draws out some of the impurities in your body. And, I give it the most rewards for as far as me losing that much weight without going on a huge diet, without working out, lifting weights or anything like that. Simply drinking distilled water rather than the other ways and getting fluoride out of my system. Who knows if that had anything to do with it, but I certainly feel much better. So that's the distiller. As far as the description of the device, let's transfer this over here. So it says the Mega Home Distiller completes 1 gallon of pure steam distilled water in 5.5 hours. The boil chamber, including upper cover and condensing coils, are high-grade stainless steel. The outer shell of the body is also stainless steel, making it very durable, attractive. You just kind of set it on your counter, and it looks nice. Comes with a glass collection bottle with a removable lid for convenience. Again, you don't want to put anything plastic. You don't want that water touching plastic. Over time, it will leach. It's another test I could have done, but if you put it in a plastic cup, I'm sure after a little while you might have some more total dissolvable solids, including the plastic that it's leaching off the side of that glass. So distilling your own water can't get any easier. Simply fill up the boil chamber with water. Press the start button. At the end of the cycle, the distiller just turns off. That's it. And then you've got your gallon of water ready. Like I said, I then transfer it to a glass bottle where you can either store it in the fridge if you like cold water or just have a few of them. They're not very expensive. Get a good glass bottle. You don't want one with BPA and that other nonsense. But and what's included, you get everything you need. The condensing unit, the distiller body, the glass collection bottle. You get some charcoal sachets. It says 1 package of 6 filters, approximately 6 month supply. I've had my distiller about a year now, and I'm still on my 4th charcoal packet. Maybe that's why my thing came back at 1 rather than 0. But again, to buy replacement filters is like, I think they're $9 for 6 more or something. You get the cleaner that I showed you earlier for the chamber residue, 8 ounces of that, and I haven't even used 10% of that. And then a power cord. Just to read real quick how distillation works, we already talked about this a little bit, but simply pour your water into the Mega Home distiller, press the reset button. Your distiller then brings the water to 212 degrees, which is the boiling point, which kills bacteria, parasites, etc. As the steam rises here, I don't know, you can't see my mouse when I use this, huh? Guess not. It leaves behind the impurities and enters the stainless steel cooling coils, where the steam is then cooled and recondensed into pure warm water. The distiller will automatically shut off when it finishes distilling, and then it passes that through the charcoal sachets, as we mentioned earlier. This is just a little image from their site, and again, I don't make any money by promoting this company. They don't even know I'm doing this. It's just simply a great product, and that's why I'm showing it to you, and I'm sure that there's cheaper ones out there. Look hard enough. But this one here, it's just great. So it says you're 70% water, so you can think clearer, perform better, feel awesome. You can eliminate single-use plastic bottles from your life. That's the biggest thing. Any water that's sitting out in the sun, you've got those plastic bottles. We don't know how long they've been in trucks, how long they've been in warehouses, and that water can leach off the plastic bottles, so you're drinking basically that plastic. Those things are so expensive. I don't know what the cost is nowadays. I haven't bought one in so long. It used to be when I ran CVS in a drugstore. We used to have sales for like $3.50, sometimes $2.99 or something for a case of 24 bottles of water, and that's pretty expensive, And I think a case of 24 16.9 ounce bottles is probably around 3 gallons. That's a guess. I could be wrong on that. But again, this is a much cheaper way of doing it, much safer, and it reduces your carbon footprint. Removes 99.99% of impurities. Helps eliminate toxins. It's great tasting water, makes you feel great, and a lot of people that were at Saturday's meetup can definitely attest to that. They loved it. Simple and durable, intuitive design, safe, sensible, and user-friendly. So just wanted to point that out. And again,
peace.